Capesoft once again, we are here, and I promised to post a video of my next lecture. Last time we were learning about how to connect MySQL with the VB6 application. So this time round, I want us to go further and we see how we can create a login form after connecting to our database. So before we do that, we have to create a database for users login. So for that, I have a database. Let us open our database. Of course, we're using the XAMPP server. So when I open my database, I'm looking for an empty database called POS. Then under this POS, you find that it's empty, it doesn't have any table. So for this case, I want to create a table. And this table, I want to call it users underscore login. So I want it to have around just 2 columns. And then I say go. So one column contains the name, username, user underscore name. Then the other one contains password. So username should be varchar, and I may give it a length of 50. And the password, I can also use varchar and give it also a length of 50. So let me save that table. So we go back to our VB. So in our VB, make sure the database points on POS, or whichever database that you are using, just point on that particular database. So from here, I go to my VB software application, and that is, I'll add let me add a form. And this form, we give it a name. So by default name is form 1. So let me give FRM login. So FRM login, and also I can give it caption of login. Just write login. So from here, we say username. So username, then I do another label called password. Then under the username, I'll use a combo box. Let me draw a combo box. And under the password, I'll use a text box. So under the combo box, I'll give it a name. I say CBO name. Under the password, I give it txt password. Okay, can go down here. I delete the caption in the combo box, and also delete the caption in the password. So under this, I say login information. So after designing your form this way, designing your labels, that is the username and password, and also putting the combo box and the text box and two buttons. You find that these buttons, you can get them on the toolbox. So you just drag and drop Like for the combo box, just drag it from the toolbox and drop it here. So I think most of you are conversant with that. If you're not conversant, you can put your comment in in the comment section so that I can also guide you on how to do it. So when I come here, I have to load data in this combo box. So this combo box, you find that it has to be connected to the database so that it retrieves the username under the username in the database. You find that in my database, we have this username. From the table we created, the username. So any content under the username should be able to populate in the combo box. So the way I want to do it, I double click on the form. So under the form loader, you type set arrays as a new .dc record set, so that it retrieves that information from the database under the record set. So under that, you type this. That is open your data, your table. Then you write this SQL query, that is select name. Then this one should be username underscore username. So you have to write exactly the way it appears in the database. So from our database, we confirm that is user's name. So let me say user's name. I add an S here. So user's name from user's login. So let's confirm our table. That is user's login, which is correct. We go back. Then under CBO, this was CBO name. The combo box is called CBO name. You add an item on that particular combo box. So you add this particular item, which is user's name. So that one we are done, because you find this is the code to load items from your database to the combo box. So this one we are done. We go back to, we double click on the form, then cancel. You just write unload me. So this one will just unload the form when you click on it. So under the password is what you want to validate. Yes, after typing this code under the form load to populate the combo box items, that is the username. Then you come back to your form, you click on the login. If you click on the login button, you find that this login button is the one that we'll use. When you click on it, it validates the entries that you have made in the password and the combo box select. So you find that it reads this way. You just type this one, set arrays is equals to new .db.record set. Then this is SQL query. After opening the table, you select the user login. You select from the user login where the password is that, and I can add here. And let me start with the username, where username is equals to, I'll just copy this to save on time. Then I paste there where username is equals to CBO name, and I add and there, and password is that. So if you go to the database, our database is here. I think it was opened sometimes back. So in our database, I go to our database, then I go to POS. Our database, remember it was POS. We created one table called users users login. So in our query, this is users name is equals to CBO and password is that. So tell this if password is equals to that, so you say after writing this particular query, you do a loop, so that this loop do until rs is equals to end of field. So you find that if you loop here, it will be looking at the username and the password. It will go through each and every record set. Then if it finds that the password and the username matches, then it will open form 1 will show. If not, it will show this message invalid login or password. So this is just the code. Let me maximize it so that you can see the whole code. Let me try to squeeze my property window here. So you find that this particular code, I think you can be able to see everything. Yes, this is the code. This is the code that is used to validate the entries. So if CBO name is equals to that, it matches with the combo box, select the name that have been selected in the combo box, and the password is also matches with what you have typed in the password text box, then it will show form 1. If not, it will show invalid. So all these particular source codes, I think I'll make them available in my videos so that you can be able to try and run in your individual machines, so that to see whether the code is giving you the same output as mine. So when you go back to our, let me go back to our window. So we are here. We have typed the code that should be under the login button. So that is it. We will try to run this code. Let's try to run it. So you find that this message only shows that our database have been established successfully. That is from the module 1. You remember in a previous video, if you click on the module, this is what we wrote in our previous video. If you are following me keenly, then this is what we wrote in our previous video. We are just creating a module that can be used to connect to the database. So if this module connects, now that our application runs from the submain, it means that if I make the submain the first thing that runs when I click on run, it will run from the module onwards. So if module is correct, then the entire application will be correct. So you find that when I click here, when I click run, the first thing that the application does is to check whether the module is connecting correctly to the database. Then if it is connecting correctly, it says database driver established successfully. Then when I say okay, it gives me now the login form. So from the login form, I can select the user from the list. Now that if you have more than one user, you find that they'll be available in that particular drop down menu of the combo box. So from that combo box, I'll select the name that I want. Then I give it the corresponding password, like the name Kevin. The corresponding password is 1234. So when I click on a login, you find that it is now giving me form 1, which is here. This is our form 1. So you find that this is our form 1 and the form 1 is here. So I want now to enter incorrect password. So when I select Kevin and I enter 123 or 1123, when I click on login, it tells me invalid login or password. Okay, that is the invalid username or password. That is it. Okay, and I can make it more elaborate. Let's say when I go to login, the message should say invalid username or password. So that is it. So that's how to log in into your to create a login form. Then eventually it will now, when your entries are correct, that is the username and the password, you'll be able to log in into your software. So you find that a software runs. Okay, I'm just trying to give you an overview how a software runs. First of all, before a software runs, it has to connect to the database. That's why I started by creating this particular module. So after creating this module, now this module enables me to connect to my database. And I said this particular tutorial is based on MySQL database that has been hosted in the XAMPP server. So after doing that, after successfully logging to my database, connecting to my database via the connection string, it takes me straight to the FRM login. If everything is okay, it takes me to FRM login, which is here. And this one is written under the module. So I tell my module, if everything is connected correctly, then take me to the to FRM login. That's why after everything, when I say the login is successfully, and then I am taken to FRM login. So the way it is running, let me run it again. Then I say Kevin 1234 login. So from the login, you find that it takes me straight to my FRM or to my form 1. So in my next video, I'm going to create a form 1 that is now our point of sale. That's why you will be selecting your items from the database and defining how many items you want to sell, and also that process of selling. That means creating a receipt, creating an invoice, and all that. So I believe that our next video will have, it will be more advanced than any other video that I have created before, so that you will understand exactly on how to create a POS. And I'll be providing source code for the same. So stay put and wait for my next videos. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Remember to support me by subscribing and liking my videos. You are supporting me so that I can continue this venture of trying to educate you on how to create various applications using Visual Basic 6, and from there we can also learn VB.NET, we can learn Java and the rest. So try to support me by liking and subscribing to my videos. Thank you and have a good night.